was Cold Chisel K, son. We've got about a minute, so it might quickly move over to the voice track, and I think it just has. There we go. We should be live. Anyway.
I like how you have to check. We're live on radio, Brayden. Are we live? I think we're live.
Look, it's the first episode, all right?
Give us a break, man. We haven't even got a producer on this thing. It's just
we
us.
We're yelling at ourselves, damn it. We told
you can't say that on air, but I am saying it on air.
Ash, I want to end with rather important tomorrow, or if you're listening to this on Wednesday, today is Remembrance Day. It's a very important day.
11 o'clock, a minute silence.
11 o'clock, and of course marking the end of the First World War. Hopefully we've got all poppies out and everything and doing the right thing.
Sprig of rosemary?
Yeah. I have got a big problem, though. Have you heard about the stories that are happening on North Terrace at the moment?
No, what's that?
So basically they've set up all these little mini crosses, to commemorate people who died, stuff like that, and basically it's a little celebration of the veterans. People, though, some scumbag... I don't think there's any other word for those people. They're just pure scum, have been out there and done a gutless act of trampling these little crosses.
No, they wouldn't be doing that to our soldiers.
They are. They've done it like 6 times.
6 times? That's not an accident. That's deliberate vandalism.
They've got police patrolling it, and it's still getting stomped. Like, that blows my mind. But seriously, if you're out there, I mean, it's most likely that the person isn't out there listening, but... I mean, if you even thought about doing it, you're just completely gutless, and you should have a real good look at yourself, in my opinion, and just think about someone else in this situation and what these people have gone through. The amount of hardship that people went through from World War I, World War II, any of those major wars, me and you would never be able to comprehend.
Oh, it's a lot more hardship than not being able to go out for a couple of months and not having toilet paper.
Yes. Let's wake up each morning and is my home being bombed?
It's mind-boggling. Like, we cannot actually comprehend what they've been through in these wars.
And the thing is, it didn't go... Like, the lockdown, for example, only went for a few months, right? The war, First World War, went for 4 years.
Can you imagine that? Saying goodbye to your partner for 4 years and not knowing if they're going to come back. And the probability is they didn't.
Yeah, that is terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. That's why I've always... Anzac Day, Remembrance Day, all those days are very important to me. I think that we cannot underestimate what these people have done for us. And this happens. It's just completely and utterly disgusting. I hope these people get caught, and I hope they get the full force of the law brought onto them.
I completely agree. And especially for World War I and World War II, if it was for other wars that have been... waged more recently, you could maybe understand political reasons why maybe they don't completely agree. But I feel like World War I and World War II are pretty standard. If you're going to have a war, have that one. That seems like the most ethical war you could have against the Nazis. And
yeah, exactly. And then the World War I is a very difficult one to explain. Just basically.
All right, here we go. History lesson. It's very complicated, but.
It's a lot of alliance pacts come into it, and look, I'm not going to go fully into it one day. That's a whole investigative journalism and history lesson. But I've got some interesting wartime stories that I've been told over the years. So I thought it was interesting hearing. I can't remember the battle, but basically, it was an Australian soldier, and he was telling the cameras at the time that he was on a battlefield, and he could see artillery basically, and he just heard this almighty bang, and he dives in this hole and he ducks for cover, waiting for something to hit, a shell, whatever it may be. And as he's ducking down, 2 Italians jump on him. These are 2 Italian soldiers other way around. 2 German soldiers jump on him. They jump on top of him. He's panicking, thinks he's going to die and everything. They hear the bang. They all duck together, all 3 of them, even though they were Germans. They get up, the 2 Germans look at him, and they look and they see he's in an Aussie uniform. And you know what the 2 Germans said to him? Bloody Italians. and jumped out of the hole. Went back to their position. He was saying to the camera, he said it was such a nice thing. I really wish I got their numbers or something so I could talk to them after the war. It was like I find that really interesting.
The humanity of war. Yeah.
The humanity, just like, holy crap, that was close, wasn't it? Yeah. And then just, even though we're enemies, they kind of just went, we're alive. Let's be happy with that.
Survive that.
Yeah, so I think that's an amazing story.
What always strikes me as incredible is when you go around and see like where one bullet has hit another bullet. You see those bullets where they've intersected in like museums, and apparently there's hundreds of them out there because the air is just so full of lead all the time of bullets firing against bullets, and bullets actually colliding in midair.
That's nuts.
Like, think how small a bullet is and how big air is.
Yeah, I can't comprehend that.
Like, two actually coming into contact. And apparently there's hundreds of them littered around, and you see them in galleries and stuff. And every time I see that, I just think, how full of lead were the trench, No Man's Land?
Yeah, exactly. Did you see the film 1917?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Very good. I must admit, I thought that film was probably one of the most accurate depictions of war that I've seen going around. From basically just the way they did the scenery, the way they did the battlefield, that was insane. I thought that was actually credit to detail, and I liked it. A lot of people say, "Oh, the story wasn't that interesting." I liked it because you actually feel like the third soldier going to battle. That's what I really enjoyed about it. I thought that was absolutely splendid the way they did that. But yeah, I mean, there are so many stories that you can hear from war battles. I recently went to the latest RAF air show. Now, I can't remember basically what conflict this. It may have even been a major, like one of the recent major conflicts, right? He was saying this was a pilot. He was in a dogfight. He got wounded 86 times, right? Passed out from the pain, woke up, still had the energy to land the plane and live to tell the tale. I don't think there's much more to wound after 86 times.
Those people in the air, I tell you what, those dogfights, those people are absolutely insane. I tell you what.
Well, here's a question for you. If you had to be in any of the three in like the World War One or Two, what would you be? Navy, Army, or Air Force?
I think I'd be sent home on a stretcher, I think, because I don't think I'm surviving the war.
It is interesting when we think about that, like, would I have survived during the war years?
I mean, statistically, no, and thinking about who I am and my place in the world, no. I just don't think I'm cut out for it.
I
feel like I'd make a really stupid risk or something. That'd be the end of me.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So, again, credit to all these veterans. I mean, if you have any amazing war stories, please come and tell us. I mean, I really do genuinely love hearing this because you find stories of humanity, you find stories of pure heroism. It's insane. Like the VC winners, when you read about them, they are. I just can't imagine how scary some of that must have been.
Well, they must have been absolutely
like and
seat of their pants.
Yeah, and it's not just that. I mean, we hear about the battles. We always hear about Gallipoli, for example, because of the famous retreat. Ratzer Tobruk is also a very interesting one when you look at it that way, and would hold off one of a great German commander. And then you look at Frommel's. There's just so many things. So I think our war history is always something that we should be proud of in Australia, especially in those.
And we should definitely share more. So if there's anyone out there who has grandparents or great grandparents still alive who can still give us some stories, we'd love to hear them. It'd be absolutely amazing.
To finish off the show, I've got one as well. I had a great uncle who was in the 9th Light Horse Light Horse Battalion. I think it was Light Horse Infantry, whatever it is. He's in the 9th Light Horse. He has we still have the medals today. He's got it's basically a little triangle, and he always said apparently that was for the best shot in the battalion. Like, so for the best shot, and he's still got the medals and everything. And I was talking to my grandma. So what was he like and everything? He said, I was just, a normal, was a bit of a wharfie, and then went over to, slash farmer kind of thing. Did two different things, and then she said, she's like, oh, I know more about him. In fact, I have these. Oh, that's right. I had these letters from Egypt. So she still had these letters from Egypt from the. And she's like, oh, but I threw them out. I didn't think many people would be interested in them. What the heck?
Oh, I think every Australian has like a picture of their grandparents at the Egypts in front of the pyramids or something. It seems to be something that like everyone seems to have done and taken pictures during the war in front of the.
It just makes me think how many were thrown away. You're like, oh, no one wants to remember that.
No one wants to remember this letter.
Yeah, I would love to read that right now.
It's a bit of history, that is, and it's like, yeah, not very good history though, is it?
Anyway, so that was the Common Room Live. Thank you for listening. It's been rather stressful trying to learn all this, and we hope you can ignore the amateurness as we try to pick songs and try to get this equipment right. It's been a bit of a Thinking we are also filming live, so they can go onto YouTube, can't they?
They can go onto YouTube and watch this.
So you can actually,
if they want to. I mean, I don't know why they would.
I don't know what it is. An interesting method, isn't it? That we now film radio.
Yeah, it's the future. Ooh.
It is. Yeah. So, so give us a check on YouTube. But, of course, you can check out the podcast, which they can go to where, Ash?
They can go to Google Play. They can go to...
Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and Anchor FM. You happy that I saved you there?
It's only been, 15 weeks? Oh, my gosh, we're up to 15 episodes already, and I can't remember anything. But can you say the email? I put it to you. That's right. It's commonroomUnicast@gmail.com.
Yeah, I told you. It's commonroom@unicast.gmail. Notice how I waited for him to say that before.
And you can find us on Facebook, Common Room Unicast, and on Twitter, Common Room Unicast. It's the same thing. Why can we never remember it?
I don't know. We do it. There's just so many channels that people can get us on. We hope you've enjoyed the show today. We really enjoyed it. We're going to keep trying to go as live. We're hopefully going to get around the 7:30 mark for the next live show, but keep it up to date. Facebook, we'll give you a post. We'll give you a live post because you never know who's going to be in this radio studio. Far out, we've got people next door, which we weren't expecting, at 9:00 at night.
Yes, it is a community radio station at a uni, so sometimes it's hard to get the rooms.
Yeah, and someone is obviously doing an assignment very late.
And it took us long enough to work out how to use this equipment. Okay, I think we better sign off now.
We better sign off. You can catch us Wednesday 3 p.m. for the repeat, or you can tune in to us next week, Tuesday night. See you then, Ash.
See ya, Bray Dog.